Welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager. And if you are not following me on social media, you are most definitely missing out. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under Brandy, the Millennial Manager. And let's get started. So y'all know I do not like to waste time, and I am so ready because I did a few videos this week about negotiating a salary in the workplace. And what did that do? That created an influx of interest about negotiations in the workplace. And so I'm kind of going to put a pause on kind of the personalities in the workplace because this one was a very, very big topic on social media. So some of the things that I want my listeners to know is that when you are negotiating for a higher pay rate, you definitely need to make sure you are valuing yourself. A lot of times we are going in thinking about whether or not they're going to say no. I mean, the worst thing they can say is no, but you're constantly worried about the company, or maybe you're worried about what your boss is going to think or whatever. But to really sum it up, you only need to be concerned about yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have to take care of your family and you know what you need to survive. Now, am I saying go in there and ask for $1 million a year and you know that is not realistic? No. But what I'm saying is make sure that you know exactly what you want. So depending on what industry you are in, I know that raises sometimes come with a cap, but we're going to talk about all of that. So when you are starting this process, let's say you are just looking for this job, I would immediately think about the position that I'm looking to apply for. Of course, make sure that you are a suitable candidate. This is something that is in your field, something that is in your industry, that you already have the experience. Now, if you're just starting out, we may have to do a separate podcast for that, for someone that doesn't have experience, or if we have time today, then I will fit that in towards the end. Now, what I would do is search the salary ranges for this particular role. Do not go into the interview blind. You need to know what the job is going to pay, like what the range is on the site when you're applying, or you need to be researching this role in your area. And they have so many career platforms that utilize this or that have this so that you can utilize it. They have Glassdoor, they have PayScale. Do not walk around blind, okay? Look online to see what this job is paying or what the range is in your area. Okay. Now, if you are somebody that's going to be working remote, then I would look remotely. Okay. Look in other locations, some that may have a higher cost of living, and see what the company is paying for those areas. We already talked about this second tip, but knowing your value is extremely important. You need to be prepared to articulate your skills, your experience, and what you are going to be bringing to the company, because they're not going to pay you just to do nothing. So you need to be able to articulate what you can do and why this salary is going to be worth it, because you have to show that you can do the work, and then they'll be willing to sow into you. Now, once you get into the interview, it is very important that you remain confident in your abilities, okay? Do not be afraid to discuss what you want. And I also did a video this week about not necessarily telling them exactly what you make. So let's say, for example, in the video, I discussed if you make $40,000, and when the company asks you how much you make, pad it a little bit, okay? Don't go in there saying you want to make $45,000. Make sure that you give yourself a good enough leap, at least $10,000 more, so that you can feel comfortable. Because when you start to deduct or maybe divide the amount of an additional $5,000 on your salary, that does not break down to much. And the way that you find that out is by dividing 5,000 or dividing 2,500, because the other 2,500 is going to go to your taxes or to additional money for your retirement, whatever it is that you're doing. you can count on at least 2,500 of that additional 5,000. And you're going to divide that by 52, and that is not going to give you a lot of money. So that's where when you negotiate, if it's not 10 grand or more on your salary, then babe, it's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. And even at $10,000 from your current place of employment, they need to have some really good benefits, because then you can really enjoy that money and you can really see that money, and it can make a difference. Because if you're just taking a $5,000 pay increase, but you're paying more in insurance, you're paying more money out of pocket, I would just be very mindful of that. Always divide it by 52, and that's how you can see how much money additionally is going to be coming into your house each week. Now, if you're looking to request a pay raise from your current employer, you should definitely do the same thing. Okay, start with your research. I want you to look and see what you currently make, and then also look in your area for that salary as well, because sometimes you may have gotten a little bit lowballed when you joined this company, but now you're looking to increase your earnings. And so I would look online also, just to make sure that you're not missing out on any coins. Okay. Now, the second part, this is the most important, because a raise for raise sake is not enough. It's not. You need to start documenting your achievements. What have you done while you have been at this company? Have you been keeping a record of your accomplishments? Maybe you have introduced some new protocols. Maybe you have provided a lot of value to the organization or to the company. Whatever it is, you need to make sure that you are documenting those things. There should be a visual representation of what you have done. So if you are someone that is production based, meaning that your company has to meet a sales goal, or maybe they have to meet some type of production goal, then you should be documenting how the company has shifted or projections have risen since you have joined the company under the projects that you have had. Maybe you have secured more clients, or maybe you have saved the company a lot of money, or even done a lot of successful projects. So I want you to start documenting those things. If you haven't, go back. Go back to when you started with the company. Look through some of your emails. This is when you are really going to have to put the pedal to the metal. If you really want it, you are going to have to do the research to make sure you have enough documentation to support the raise or increase in pay that you would like to see. The last thing is you need to make sure this is a good time, okay? Maybe not in the middle of a company meeting where they're talking about projections. Maybe that's not a good time. Let's schedule a separate time with your direct manager or whoever makes that decision regarding pay within the company. Give them a verbal request as well as a letter that is a written request to show that you are requesting a raise in your pay. Now, to me, I would say that a raise in salary or requesting a raise in a salary should come in about 1 year, because that is a good enough time to see, first of all, if you even like this place. 3 months is really a good time to see whether you really like it, but a year really kind of gives you that time to document the growth and see the span of the things that you have done. So 1 year is generally a really good time to request a pay increase. Now, if you are somebody who is an hourly paid employee, I would look to see if they do those in your 90-day. Even salary sometimes can offer a 90-day salary increase, but that also needs to be in your contract. So that goes back to the interview. When they are offering you the position and they're saying, okay, we do, you should ask, like, how often are raises given? Is there a set percentage? You need to ask those things so that once you get to that 1 year or whatever that time period is, you're not, kind of finding out at that moment. You need to go ahead and ask that information once the position is offered to you. The last salary phase that I would like to talk about is someone that has a salary cap. So in the comments of the video that I did where we talked about a salary or how to negotiate, this was a big one because a lot of people take a position and maybe they stay with the company for a while, or maybe the position just comes with a salary cap. So let's say, for example, your max salary is $100,000 and you can't really go beyond that. If that is the case and you really like your job, I would negotiate non-salary benefits. Okay, what is a non-salary benefit? A non-salary benefit can be bonuses, vacation days or additional vacation days on top of the ones that you already have, flexible working hours. Maybe there are some professional development opportunity. There are so many ways that your company can pour into you, and this will also help you feel like, okay, I'm getting something. Even though there is a salary cap, I still have an opportunity to obtain bonuses. I still have the opportunity to negotiate non-salary benefits like the vacation days that we talked about, flexible working hours. Even if maybe your job is not normally remote, maybe you can negotiate a day or two of being remote if you hit that salary cap and you are a diligent employee. They are more than likely going to oblige. If you are working for a good company, they're definitely going to want to find ways to reward you and also ways to make you comfortable in the meantime while there is this salary cap in the position that you are in. Now, let's say that your position does have the salary cap, but maybe there's opportunity for promotion. You should definitely be applying for new roles. Maybe it's a role in management, or maybe just a role totally different, but not necessarily a managerial role. I would definitely apply for those opportunities because that can open a wider pay range for you, and then also maybe take some of these non-salary benefits with you when you apply for this new role. So remember to be open, be creative, suggest alternatives that can really help you maximize your compensation. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it could be some stock options. There are just, never-ending solutions to this problem. So if you do have a salary cap, I want you to sit down and think about what you would want from your boss or what you would want from the company, and put those thoughts together and see what you can come up with to make it more profitable for you. And as always, make sure that you are documenting your achievements. We talked about this earlier, but keeping a good record of how you have grown, how you have increased projections for your company, how you have strengthened your company's portfolio, whatever it is that you are doing, you need to keep a record, and that way you have something to stand on. So you don't just go in and say, well, I want a raise. Why? Don't go in talking about your personal things. Don't go in talking about the cost of living. Keep it professional and keep it facts-based. Not saying that your situation is not factual. However, it is not relevant at work. So keep it work relevant, and let's say how we should obtain this raise and why. And the reason should always revolve around work. And now we are going into our email segment. We got an email from Betty, and Betty says, I'm so glad I found you on my Facebook feed. Now I subscribe to your podcast. I'm wondering what to do in this situation. Well, thank you, Betty. I appreciate your support and following me on Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get into the email. It says, I am an office administrator for a local branch of a regional corporation. My GM was recently fired, and the other manager resigned, leaving me as the only one in the office. All the supervisory duties and daily operations have fallen to me. I already know where this is going. Jesus. All of the coworkers assume I'll do everything for them because I'm the only person left. I refer them to upper management, HR, payroll, etc. But I'm still inundated with their work and their problems. And this person is working a 60-hour work week, y'all. Now, it says while she is gladly taking the overtime, she cannot manage the stress because it is a lot. While corporate searches for management replacements, I've been given small bonuses for the last few weeks, which has been very helpful. However, the bonuses have suddenly stopped, but that work is still continuing, ain't it, Betty? Before the GM was fired, I was due for a performance evaluation and a salaried position was being considered. I would also like to apply for an open management position, which would increase my salary further. How should I handle this situation? Well, baby, let me tell you, you are about to be burnt out. There's a reason why your manager was fired. And then the other person in management has also resigned from their position. I'm not sure what type of industry you are in, but I would also be planning to find me another job. Because if they have stopped giving you bonuses, but they are still expecting you to perform at the same rate, they're not giving you a pay increase, they have given you basically supervisory duties without any supervisory money, and they know you're going to take the crumbs. They're okay with that. But they're not okay with giving you the promotion. They should have come to you and said, hey, we want to promote you into this management role. We do not have a manager on site. You have been here the longest. We are looking to move forward with you. But they did not. They decided to just throw you a few dollars, not give you any training, and then also not even give you the salary position that comes with the management role. So, baby, they're showing you. Remember what I talked about in a previous video on social media about the lack of promotion? This goes right along with that. They are willing to give you everything but that position, but that salaried pay. Now, let's say you decided to stay with this company. The first thing I would do before you go and talk to them about this position, I would immediately start writing down my contributions. What have I done? In the meantime, we have not had any management. I have done this. I have taken on a leadership role. I have done supervisory tasks. All these things, whatever it is that you have done that was previously your former manager's responsibilities that you have taken on, start documenting, okay? Then you need to request a meeting with your manager or with the HR department. I would discuss immediately. Let's have a meeting, babe, because I'm doing the work. I'm filling in the gaps. We need that salary position if you are choosing to stay with them. So you have two options. Number one is that you decide, you know what, let me look at this situation for what it is. They did not give me the salary position when we do not have a manager on site. However, they expected me to carry on this management duty. I fulfilled that duty, and all they gave me was a few bonuses, and then they stopped them. But the work is still continuing, and you need to just really sit and think about that. Okay, because a company that values you is going to pay you. All right. A company that is going to use you, they are going to use you. And you have been letting them do it. Okay, baby, I'm just going to tell you straight up. It's time to really sit with that and think about what you want to do going forward. Now, your second option is if you decide to stay with the company, that you sit down and write your duties and tasks, things that you have taken on from the previous manager because you don't have one on site. Discuss what you want as your salary, and then you need to, or think about what you want as your salary, and then you need to actually apply for that management role. If they don't select you, the writing is on the wall, girl. Okay, it's actually a red flag to me that your management, you had one manager that was fired, and then you have another one who actually stepped down or resigned from the role. What the hell is going on in the background? I really just want to say, what is happening in the background that these people have either gotten fired for whatever is going on in the background or resigned because of whatever is going on in the background. So I'm not even sure that's a arena I would want to even be in. But you got to think about it because, you know, that's you. All right. So you weigh out your options and think about that, because that is a very real fact that you put in that email. Okay. All right, so now we are at the end of our podcast. I definitely hope that you all are thinking about negotiating for yourself, negotiating for your personal reasons, but do not go in there and tell them your personal reasons, because it is what? None of their business. They don't need to know that, Betty, okay? We keep that stuff to ourselves. Do not go in there talking about your personal business when you are negotiating. Remove the personal aspect of it. And then also what I want you to do is that when you're talking to your boss or to your company about a pay raise, your concern is not about them. Your concern is about you and what you want to do to show yourself that you value you. And how can this company show you that they value you? I really want y'all to start putting yourself first. And this message is not just for you guys. This message is for me as well, because y'all know that I am starting this podcast journey. I have a great new friend that is helping me realize the potential of it. And while I am a beast at earning at work, and I know how to collect my coin, in this arena, it is a bit foreign to me. And so I had to have a pep talk myself with two amazing people this week that told me what I need to do to get my money up. At the end of the day, you are your first priority, and you are also your first advocate. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to advocate for your own salary, okay? You also should not be going in there talking about people and what they make. I have my own opinions, even before I was a manager, about discussing pay in the workplace. I don't like it because it can create an arena of animosity, because there have been situations where I know for a fact that I made more than certain people because they love to talk about, well, I only make $12. This was back when I was, hourly. And yeah, I make $12 an hour. How much you make? That's none of your business. None of your business about what I make, baby. If you only making $12 an hour, hey, I'm sorry for you, but you're not going to get my information and then try to raise your pay. You ain't going to raise my pay. If my pay was low, you wouldn't do the same. So that's where you have to draw a line in the sand about your business in the workplace. You keep those things private. I do not like sharing it. Even before I was a manager, I never, ever, ever told anybody how much money I made, because it was none of their business. Okay? So y'all do with that what you will. I really want to see you applying these things. Y'all send me a DM. If you have any questions, send me an email. If you have any further questions, like if you need something that's a little more specific and not so broad, send me your questions to themillmanagementpod@gmail.com. Or if you are not, follow me on social media, Brandy the Millennial Manager. And that is it for today. I cannot wait to see y'all again on Monday. But for now, I will see y'all on the internet. Bye-bye.
दिन भर का स्ट्रेस और खाने के बाद सिगरेट, ये धुआं हटाओ टोबैको निल के साथ। इंडियाज़ फर्स्ट 24-hour निकोटीन पैच जो दिन भर आपकी क्रेविंग्स रिड्यूस करे स्मार्ट टाइम रिलीज टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ और सिगरेट छोड़ने में आपकी हेल्प करे। आज ही शुरू करें टोबैको निल की 12-week therapy. So here's to smoke-free days with Tobacco Nil, helping you quit one step at a time. Also available as nicotine gums. Buy now on Amazon, Tata 1mg and Netmeds. Also available at Apollo Pharmacy, Wellness Forever and Noble Plus stores.